I think the main thing is he's just got to remember to be Donnie Kelly. Don't all of a sudden try to be somebody that you're not. In other words, don't compare yourself to other managers. Don't try to manage like another manager. Just be Donnie Kelly. Do what your gut tells you. He's got the temperature of the clubhouse, obviously. I'm sure he has had for a while. He probably knows if there needs to be something done. Whether there does or not, I don't know. But, but at the end of the day, if he's going to be successful, the players that they have, they got to play better. And I don't mean that critically about the players because I was always a player's manager. But if he's going to have success, players got to do good. That's the way it works for all of us. I mean, when you got good players, you do pretty good. When you don't, you usually struggle. So, it starts with the players, but it also starts with Donnie's approach as far as, trying to relax the atmosphere a little bit, not put too much pressure on him, but also hold him accountable. And you got to know how to balance that as a manager. So, Donnie's got a real good feel for people, and I think he'll be able to handle that very, very well.
Jim, Donnie did just speak moments ago, and he mentioned the accountability point that you just made there. How do you best hold Major League players accountable in 2025, in your opinion?
Well, you don't graduate to the big leagues. Guys want to play in the big leagues, but you just don't get to play in the big leagues unless really you deserve it, and you don't stay in the big leagues unless you deserve it. So these guys are Major League players right now, and they deserve to be. But at the same time, they got to understand that there's always somebody, or there should be always somebody knocking on the door. And, you just don't graduate to the big leagues. You just don't keep your job unless you perform pretty well. So, that's what they're going to be, they're going to have to be held accountable for that. Listen, you want to stay up here, you want to keep a Major League job, you have to earn it. And you're going to have to continue to earn it. Hopefully there's always somebody coming behind them, which there normally is. And I think that's where you start. It's very simple. I mean, it's really not rocket science. The way you treat the players, you do everything in the world you can for the players. You make the atmosphere as nice as you possibly can. You do everything so that they have no complaints. And then if they're not performing, then you might have to, take them to the task a little bit. But Donnie knows all that. He's been around a long time.
Jim, one of the things when we've talked previously that you mentioned that a manager from a tactical standpoint just has to be able to do that's hugely helpful if you're going to be successful is manage a bullpen and understand your bullpen. And Donnie managed one game a couple of weeks ago for the Pirates, but otherwise that hasn't had to be his purview. So how tough is it to get a feel for something like that on the fly?
Well, that's one of the areas where Donnie and I differ. I had managed 11 years in the minor leagues when I got my chance. Donnie has not managed. Mm-hmm. And there are going to be some things that come up that could possibly surprise him because that he's never managed. I know he's been a coach, but when you're in that coach's chair, it's a lot different than the manager's chair. So he's going to have to, get familiar with it and, start from the back of the bullpen to the front of the bullpen. And that usually, helps out. If you got somebody that can shut down games for you, then you can work backwards a little bit. And, he's got good starting pitching. That's the one thing I like about this. They have some good starting pitching. There's no question about that. They got one of the best in baseball going out there every 5 days. So, that's a leg up on some teams. I think what he's going to have to do is be a little bit creative offensively because their offense has not been good. Mm-hmm. And they don't have the kind of power numbers that you'd like to see some more power. They really haven't shown that. So sometimes you got to be a little creative by maybe hitting and running a little bit more, trying some other things on the bases. Whatever it is you do. But, I think he's going to have to be creative offensively to try to get them going.